1,200 Iowa Democrats in this convention center behind us in just a couple hours. A big night for you and for the other people who want to be the party's nominee. Will you be nervous at all?
Yeah, I will be. But I'm confident that the message that we're going to be offering, and that is that establishment politics and establishment economics is not working for the middle class and working families, that the time is long overdue that we took on the billionaire class and created an economy that worked for all people. I think that's a message that will resonate.
So that's your message. Do you have a goal tonight except to give your normal speech?
Yes, I want all 1,200 people, including Hillary Clinton supporters, to come out and put on my pins. That is my goal.
That's your goal. All right.
My goal. It's a modest goal. It's a modest goal.
So just to go back to the nervous thing, when you get nervous, what happens?
I get louder.
Louder.
Occasionally I get monstrous.
So you might do the monster on stage?
Might do the monster. Right.
All right. It'd be cool if you did.
You called the Iran deal, you called it a victory for diplomacy over saber rattling.
Yeah.
Now, what if they were to renege? What would President Sanders do? If they did renege, would you consider a military option?
I think it's absurd to be talking about a military option right now, but the president, we just went through a war in Iraq. We went through a war in Afghanistan. I'm the former chairman of the Senate Veterans Committee, and if you want, I will tell you what the cost of those wars are. So before people start talking about going to war, we have got to exhaust every effort to reach an agreement with Iran so that they do not get a nuclear weapon, but we do it in a peaceful way. And I kind of resent this easy talk about war. I've talked to too many veterans who came back without arms and legs, with PTSD, to be talking about another war right now.
Totally respect your wanting to keep that as far away from the discussion as possible. Most people who run for president say war is a last resort, but you can't take it off the table. Are you not? Do you not?
I'm not a pacifist, of course.
So you wouldn't take it. You'd reserve that option, even though you'd put it far down the list.
It's always an option, but after the war in Iraq and after the war in Afghanistan, which cost us so much in human life and in human suffering, it is very much the last option. And I applaud, let me be clear, I applaud the President and John Kerry for their extraordinarily difficult work in trying to forge an agreement with Iran.
I want to talk to you about the minimum wage, which is obviously a big issue within the party and the country right now. You support, if I understand it, a $15 national minimum wage.
Yes, over a period of several years.
Right, phased in. A lot of Democrats, even some Democrats say maybe not that high, maybe 12, whatever. I'm just wondering, what you base $15 on? Do you have a study or some economist who tells you that's the right level? Why not 20?
Well, the study is, A, what is feasible, what we can do politically, and B, what are the needs of working people? Right now, the $7.25 minimum wage is a starvation wage. People can't live on it. And many of those people end up going on Medicaid and food stamps. So in a sense, we are subsidizing the McDonald's and the Walmarts of the world. $15 an hour is not a whole lot, but at least it allows people to live with a shred of dignity and take care of their basic needs.
If a higher number were feasible, would a higher number be better?
No, I mean, you could say, why not $500 an hour? There are limits to what you could do right now. I think $15 an hour would be a very good start in providing dignity to people and cutting the level of poverty in America.
Right. One of the things that your critics have said is that they don't think that you could get much done in Washington. Let's talk about a Sanders cabinet. Can you talk about the kinds of people that you would put in a Sanders cabinet, and maybe even name some people from past cabinets that you might...
It's a little bit premature to be naming people, but this is what I will tell you. Right. I think what we have seen over the last number of decades, both in Republican and Democratic administrations, is a heavy reliance on Wall Street folks. In fact, Goldman Sachs has kind of a revolving door. They're not going to be in my cabinet. There are some great economists out there who understand how the economy works, who have come up with a lot of ideas on how we can expand the middle class, how we can protect the needs of working people. Those are the people I would bring into my cabinet, not the Wall Street folks.
So let me ask you, again, I'm sure you don't want to name names, as Jennifer asked you to, for people who might be in your cabinet. Is that true? You don't want to offer us?
I'm sorry.
Are you going to name anybody who might be in your cabinet?
It's a little bit.
So let's look at...
Let me win the election first.
So let's look at American history on two jobs. In the history of the country, who's a defense secretary who you thought did a good job, and who's a treasury secretary who you thought did a good job?
Well, I could tell you some that I think did not do a good job.
Oh, I knew you could. How about ones you thought were good, though?
Well, I would tell you that I think that in terms of somebody who I would like to have on board, it certainly would not be a Donald Rumsfeld type in terms of Secretary of Defense. But I think that in terms of if you're going to be looking at maybe a Secretary of Treasury, to answer your question, somebody like a Bob Reich would be somebody who I think would be good.
Okay, but just to go back to defense, I understand, I knew you wouldn't like Rumsfeld, but is there anybody who's ever served as Secretary of Defense who you said, that's the kind of person, values, judgment, policy positions, I thought that was a good Secretary of Defense?
Well, you know, the folks who were around in World War II, I think, did a pretty good job.
Okay, and how about Treasury? Bob Rubin is pretty popular with the Democratic
Bob
Party.
Rubin would be exactly the last person.
Last person.
I mean, Bob Rubin was one of the architects for the deregulation of Wall Street. That is what Wall Street is about. So
Lloyd Benson? Lloyd Benson?
No, not a Lloyd Benson either. Very nice man, but not my Secretary of Treasury. Again, these guys are the folks who come from the moneyed interests. I think we will get people who represent working families.